morphologies are building blocks. And this term comes to us from biology, where we're looking at the different elements in nature and how they go together and how they can be recombined. It's also a term that comes to us from a field called narratology. And what it means is we can take a story and we can break a story down into actors and into actions that they're going to take. And we can tell the story in a very different way by changing this around. We can also use morphologies to actually create products and services in new ways. And the way we need to do that is we need to take a look at what goes into a product or service. We need to break it down into its constituent parts. And then we need to look at how we would actually reassemble those components to be something unique. So let's do one together. Let's say I'm a new fashion designer and nobody really knows me yet, and I really haven't made my mark. And I'm going to make men's coats. That's how I think I'm going to really make my splash in the fashion world. So I'm going to go to a fashion show. I'm going to have a showing, but it's a showing for kind of new designers, right? It's not the big one in Paris or Milan or New York. It's kind of it's kind of how we get our foot in the door. So we take a look at all of the opportunities and all the options we have with a suit. So we look at the material that suits can be made out of. They can be made out of wool, a conventional material, or corduroy, or cashmere, or silk, right? A lot of things suits can be made out of, or suit coats can be made out of. We look at sizes. There's long and there's extended sizes. There's regular. There's tailored fit. We think about colors. Most men's jackets are blue and gray and black. But you can get away with green and purple, and you can even get away with regatta. Those when you go to those boating events, and there are all those kind of stripes that people have. We think about the basic styles that suits come in. There's the two-button style, what's called single-breasted. There's double-breasted, which usually has 6 buttons. There's the zippered gillet, which means you put the vest inside the suit, so in the winter you stay warm, and so on and so forth. And finally, we think about the types of suits. Well, the normal suit's a sport coat, but there's also things like a Norfolk jacket, which is, you see in those old movies, a hunter, the English hunters with it. And there's hacking jackets, which, writers wear, tuxedos and formal wear. So we're really thinking about how do we get the story out about our unique fashion house. And we decide that what we're going to do is something a little unusual, a little edgy to get attention. So we're going to make a jacket out of silk. And then we decide we're going to go with slim because we think slim is more for younger people, before they've sort of filled out a little bit. So a younger man. Then we think, well, what's never been done is a silk regatta jacket, because regatta jackets are typically made out of cotton. So, we're going to have stripes. And, a regatta jacket may typically be sort of red or green, but we're going to use purple, and we're going to use orange, and we're going to make it really, really, really bright. But we're going to make it tasteful because it's going to be single-breasted with 2 buttons, sort of the more conventional way. But we're going to add a little splash. We're going to make it a tuxedo. So we're going to give our lapels maybe a little velvet, and something a little more maybe yellow out of it, right? So what we've decided is the way in which we're going to make our splash is we're going to look at the product that we sell. We're gonna tell the story of the product that we sell in a way that's going to get attention. Now, of course, once we get attention and people think this is interesting, if we really want to sell a lot of product, we probably have to go back to our morphology and do something a little more conventional that people would wear on a regular basis. But the notion here is, if we're going to tell our story, we have to look at all the constituent components. We have to consider all the options and how we put them together, and we can have permutations of this. And by doing this, we're going to tell our story differently. Not only the story that we tell about what we're doing as a fashion house, but the story we tell about the product itself.